Hello everyone and welcome to another review over here at the Spirit Doctor channel. We're gonna be talking about this bad boy over here. Comes in a very luxurious box. This is not a bourbon, this is a scotch this time. And it's the Dalmore King Alexander III. So I was just looking up who the fuck Alexander III was on Wikipedia just before starting this, and apparently he was a 13th century, so a medieval Scottish king that secured access to or property rights over the Isle of Man and the Outer Hebrides, right? So a series of islands that today belong to Scotland. So the reason why this thing is special, right? Despite being only 80 proof, so very low, 40% alcohol by volume. So it's a baby, you know. However, it was finished. It was finished in 6 different casks. So I'll tell you what they are. So bourbon casks, Oloroso sherry casks, Madeira, Marsala, Port, and Cabernet Sauvignon. Right, and they give you, the tasting notes on the back, but I won't look at it, so I don't really just start looking for particular flavors when I'll show you the inside as well. Right? It's very nice. I don't really usually care about packaging, but this is particularly cool, right? It comes with a painting, right? So there seems to be, so the Dalmore seems to have a thing for stags. I don't know why. Maybe someone can enlighten me, like why the stag is like an important symbol for the Dalmore and for Scotland. Maybe, I don't know. No idea. That I'll have to see later, I guess. But yeah, very nice. It's nice painting or whatever this is. It seems to be a painting or the reproduction of a painting that is in the National Galleries of Scotland. So it's called The Fury of the Stag. All right, let's get down to business. So and you can see that, actually it's not particularly dark, right? It's not super dark, but one of the reasons why I think people shit on this bottle, even though this was like highly recommended by a bunch of Scottish lovers, my god, lovers of, let me try to figure that out. People who love Scotch. Jesus. What did I say? Scottish love? Yeah, anyway. So this thing, you can see that it's dark brown, but the thing about this is that they use coloring. So it's not super great because I don't know, people kind of expect the distillate to be, like natural color. However, yeah, coloring, and it is chilled filtered, right? So what that normally means, non-chill filtered whiskeys tend to be oilier, thicker, right? More viscous. So we'll see. No idea. But the gimmick here, I don't know if it's a gimmick or not, right? But the thing here seems to be the that it was finished in 6 different casks. So it should be significantly complex and interesting. We'll see. We're gonna find out. All right. So and it's not age stated, right? So we don't really know. I mean, I guess I could have, done some research and figured out like exactly what age people say the whiskey in the bottle is, but we'll just assume that it's not super old, right? The sherry, like you immediately get the, I mean, as you would expect, the cask influences on the nose. Sherry, the sherry is particularly popping out over here. So like red fruits, you know, red wine. A little sour, and but at the same time you get like raisins, right? Like golden raisins. What else am I getting here? It does seem to be like, yeah, you probably can't see it, but it does have nice legs, so it seems to be a bit viscous, despite not being, despite being chill filtered. So you definitely also get the malt, right? This is of course a single malt. Goes without saying. That's also something that the whiskey makes clear, despite all the finishes. It's it's briny, savory. As you would expect. I was again going to say Scottish. As you would expect a Scottish to be, a Scotch, right? As you would expect a Scotch to be. Very desserty, right? You can see that it's very sweet. Yeah, candied fruits. Not just raisins, so candied fruits in general, I guess. Like, am I picking up the Cabernet, for example, the Cabernet finish, or the port? Not super well. I wouldn't say. Maybe like you can faintly like smell some red wine as well. Anyway, enough but on the nose, like the nose, I would say is, yeah, very, very interesting, very rich, complex, a lot of stuff going on. Is it better than the nose on the? I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if that's a fair comparison to compare it to the Pappy, to the George the Stag, to the Russells. But we're gonna do it anyway because who cares about fairness, right? Yeah. So we'll just run with it and say that if the Pappy was a 95, this is a 90, a 97. We'll give it a 97. I do think it's better than the Pappy. The Pappy was very, very good. Yeah, I don't know if that's because of course the Pappy isn't finished, right? The fact that this is finished kind of gives it a leg up, I think. So the fact that the Pappy is so good and not finished, let's give this a 93. Because I do think the Pappy's nose is very, very special. And although this is very good, still, honey. Anyway, let's get it on the palate and see what we see what we get here. Yeah, no, this is very interesting. I just think, like, again, to defend my score here, right? Like, I just think that the fact that the Pappy is not really, it's just the whiskey. It's not finished in anything, in any special barrels, right? And you get such a unique, like, special nose. You should, award it a few more points for that, I think. This is very, very good, though. I mean, what people say is that it does not deliver on the palate. All this very nice bouquet. Now you do get the red wine and the port if you're looking for that. If you're like, yeah. Anyway. You can tell that it's low proof. However, does that hurt the whiskey? Kinda. Yeah. Like, I would like these flavors to be dialed up a little more. It comes across a little more subdued, like delicate. No, that's probably what they're going for, right? Like, so it's I guess a matter of whether you like that or not. Like, I would have liked a little more proof on this. Even if it, that would make the whiskey significantly more expensive, I guess, right? But it would be better. I'm still getting the raisins, the brine. It's very salty. Like, it does remind you of, like, even though I've never been to Scotland, it does remind you of, like, being in Scotland by the sea, right? Like, just experiencing the local color or whatever. But yeah, it's takes you on a trip for sure. But what else am I getting? So I'm getting the candied fruits, as I said, the honey, the salt. It's a little bitter. Now, am I getting as much of the cask influences on the palate? Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, that I mean, my take is that the like the Scotch flavors are now like overpowering the other more subtle like nuances from the casks. I think it becomes, now that that I've moved to the palate, the other notes are kind of, they're gone, or they've become significantly fainter. Mm. Yeah, I mean, definitely the, like as I said, those like sweeter, fruitier flavors kind of dissipate, right? And what we're getting here on the palate is a much more of a traditional Scotch, right? Like I maybe can still, the note that seems most prominent to me is the cask influence that seems most prominent to me on the palate is the bourbon cask. Does taste like, and you can, right? So on the, like the finish, maybe they come back. That's the interesting thing here, right? Like it hits you with the briny, you know, traditional Scotch flavors on the palate, but then on the finish they come back. So we'll see. We'll see. So what do I think about the palate here? Yeah, I don't know. The palate is, like, again, as I said, as I've been saying, like more of a traditional, like, Scotch. Nothing super. No, that's unfair. No, but I mean, no, I'm getting some tannins, and you do get the oak, you know, the bitterness of the oak as well, and the bitterness of the wine's influences, I guess. So it is special. I was gonna say it's not, it's a quintessential Scotch. It's a little more than that, I would say. It's not super great. Like, it's not really wowing me. So let's see what the Peppy Van Winkle. give it a 70 on the palate, and 77 to George T. Stagg, and 90 to the Russells. Yeah, so we're gonna go flat 80. Over here. So now the finish, which, as I was saying, is where and I can, it's a very long finish, right? Like, I can still, it's been a while since I've just been talking, and it's been a while since I went back to the whiskey, and I can still, like, feel the, like on my throat, the wine influences are still here, right? The fruity, like floral, I guess. Not floral, no, that doesn't make sense. Not to call them floral, not fruity, perfumey. Yeah, that's a better descriptor here. Perfumey aromas are still around, which is weird. So it's a very long finish, I would say. It's a very long finish, especially for 40% ABV whiskey. You wouldn't expect it to last that long. It's very... No, this is very nice. The nose is superb. And again, this is one of the most sought after, coveted Scotches. Or Scottish men. Yeah. Wow. Going back to the nose, it's amazing. All right, last sip. Yeah, on the back of the palate, all the fruits come back. All the red fruits, the wine influences. All the magic that the whiskey sort of is trying to encapsulate here. Yeah, it comes back. It hits you right in the front of the palate with, you know, again, all the brine, the sea water notes. No, it's very good. I actually didn't expect to like it this much, because reviews are kind of, for a bottle that's so, again, sought after. I saw it actually on the list of like the 8 scotches that you must try before you die list that the Whiskey Vault folks put together like many years ago. I mean, I saw the video recently, but so this came 4th, right? So this is the 4th whiskey. It's a non-peated, right? It's a which like it's kind of my thing, right? Like, although I do enjoy peated whiskeys, I prefer non-peated, right? So sweeter, desserty whiskeys. Yeah, it's very good. Really, really digging this. It is worth the money. Would it be better at a higher proof? Maybe, but then maybe this dance, right? Like as I was saying, right, the way that the flavors sort of mutate, from quintessential Scotch to something a little more interesting, complex. Maybe it would be harder to pick those things apart if the proof was higher. I guess, right? It would become like more one note. So maybe the proof is good as it is. Anyway, the nose is spectacular. The nose. The nose is spectacular, but the finish is something else. It's better than the Russells, I would say. So I gave an 85 to the Russells. I'm going to give this a 90 on the finish. So this is going to get a very high score, I think, from me. So this is where the fruits come back. Alright, so this time I won't have to end the video abruptly, because I have a way to actually tally the scores. So let's see, 93 on the nose plus 80 on the palate. So yeah, the palate is the least remarkable. It's very good though. It is very, very good, the palate. Yeah, because again, as I said, the Scotch flavors are there, but they're coated in something a little deeper, richer, like again, like savory, but also desserty, right? So it's sweet and savory, right? So it is, the palate is, although it's more on the normal side of the spectrum, it's still very good. So an 80, I don't know. Yeah, let's see. An 80. No, I think an 80 is fair. Yeah, let's go. Let's leave it at 80. And 90 on the finish. So that leaves us with an 87. 87.6, so that's an 88. So that's the final score. So this thing is getting an 88. Is this the best score that I've given to a whiskey so far? Yes, it is 3 points better than the Russell's 15. And good news are that this is a lot easier to find, right? So significantly more available than the Russells. Although it's funny that you know, when I got the bottle, when I got the Russell's 15, like I was like, yeah, you know, this was very lucky. But then, because they didn't have any other bottles on the shelf at Premier here in Buffalo, I've been going back to the store and they still have a bottle, right? So it's still there. So whoever's listening, but although I'm sure that no one that matters is actually listening to me right now, but they still have a bottle, still there, if you want to grab it. And they still have a bottle of the King Alexander III, which, to be honest, I prefer to the Russells. You know, compared to the Russells, I prefer the Dalmore King Alexander III. So this is a nice surprise, to be honest. Anyway, thank you for watching.